I want them to know that there's more out there and that they can achieve anything that they want to achieve. And it starts here in elementary school.
Then it says 44 is each month.
Turnaround started with the brain science, and that was really important. It's about developmentally where a child is. So the brain science played a large part in how is this child reacting? Why are they reacting? What's this child's age? Do we understand that? All of that makes a difference in why a child does what they do. When I go and I look at children in the morning, I'm like, okay, let me look how this child is coming in. This morning, we had one student that came in crying. The guidance counselor went right to that student to find out what's happening. That's like number one priority, get to know that individual student.
All right. So I'm waiting for everyone to look like Alicia. Alicia's looking at me. She's ready for the next directions. I think it's important to know each individual student just so you can see how they learn, what their interests are, what they don't like, who they get along with, who they don't get along with. And that helps me when it comes time for me to arrange seating in the classroom so there's less interruptions. When the students see that you care about them, they're more engaged and enthusiastic to learn every day.
Another one of the items that we wanted to work on with Turnaround was building relational trust. Once you build trust with students, obviously, they will help you, they will guide you, they will tell you everything that you need to know because they can count on you, and it's the same thing with adults.
What I've learned from Turnaround was that there's different stages that children go through when they get into crisis mode. There's an escalation phase, and what they taught us was there's a certain phase that you try to intervene to calm them. However, once they reach a certain phase, it's hard for them to even focus or even rationalize with anything you're saying to them. You want to use calming language and give them their space so that they can calm down.
So the professional development from Turnaround has been phenomenal as well. They've taken us from the big picture to the smaller picture. From the general sense of what's behavior management to the small amount with how do you work with this one specific child. So the goal of initially partnering with Turnaround for Children was to help us put some systems and structures in place, especially with behavior. Transitions were difficult for our school. And again, it was the small things. Where do you stop? Where do you start? How do you acknowledge students? What's your voice level? What's your tone? So in the hallway, we try to maintain with the older students a 0 voice level. With the younger students, it's a little different. It's very difficult to manage, but they're not running up and down the hallway. They know what their teachers expect. It's the language of the teachers too. If a child is not doing the correct thing, they get one of the 3 R's. So they're either reminding them, or they're redirecting them, or they're reinforcing something.
So my ideal transition is quiet and quick. So whether they line up or go to the mat, I usually have them remind each other what the expectations are. And I usually have a countdown, say 10 seconds for them to follow that direction. When the directions are explicit, the teacher doesn't have to give as many reminders, and there's more learning time being used.
The bonus is safety. You want to be in a safe school. You want the children to be safe. You want the adults to be safe. You want the hallways to be quiet, especially because children are working. And so that's a big bonus, is when you can walk through the hall and you're not going to see chaos in the hallway.
I feel like some classes go down the lengths of hallways and they just don't stop.
TSI has been wonderful, and it consists of teachers and administrators and Turnaround for Children. And everyone gets a chance to have a specific role, and it builds leadership. We try to at least once a week to talk about what's working, what's not working, how do we fix it, what do we need to change. And sometimes those meetings are like very passionate, where people are putting like their hearts into everything, but they're very also, I would say, open and honest. When things are not working, we get to hear from the teachers who say, I don't think this is working, or I think this is missing. As an administrator, you go in, of course you want to see the success of the adults, but more often than not, you're going in and seeing what's not working and how can we fix this. And since we've partnered with Turnaround, they've come in and said, no, this has been working. Your teachers are using the 3 R's. Your teachers are attempting this. That's a good thing. Let's honor that success. Let's work from there. So that's been really helpful to go in with a different vision of not seeing what's not working, what do we need to fix, but noticing what is working and what can we grow.
And I put 9 on the bottom, then I count them, and then it was 14. That's how I knew the answer, and that was my math strategy.
My goal and my hope for my kids is I want them too to be lifelong learners. I want them to have the ability to be able to get a career, go to college, do whatever they want to do, be whatever they want to be, but I want them to have something positive in their lives.